Gareth, good to see you. I'm Harry. Gareth, this is the first England game, obviously, since the European Championships final. I just wonder how you used that incredible summer and the momentum that the team had throughout the tournament to go again in these qualifiers.
Yeah, I think, of course, the team have gained confidence from what they've achieved and the progress that they've made not only this summer but over the last 4 years. But equally, we have to start again. You know, the journey to having the chance to have another run like that in a tournament is underway, and these qualifiers, you've got to be at your very best. Mentally, it's a good test for us. We've got to go away from home now, 60,000 fans, very good team that we play against, and we've got to become a team that in all those different environments that we encounter, whether, we've had good matches at home, but we've got to be able to go away from home and pick those results up as well.
Do you expect this to be the toughest game you'll face in qualifying?
Well, I think the two away games this week are both going to be hugely challenging, two good teams. They're obviously pivotal games in terms of qualification as well. So you can't predict what your hardest games are going to be, but we know that Hungary are a very good side and they sit second in the group. Took points from Poland in March, took point off of France in the summer, and off of Germany. So their recent results speak for themselves, really.
With so little preparation and 3 games in 7 days, how do you manage the squad? How do you manage the players? Will none of them all start? Will one of them start all 3 games, for example?
Well, we'll work through that as the week progresses. But of course, in the summer we had 40 plus days together, and you get a real rhythm of how you work and a really clear understanding of how we want to play. We've still got some of that fairly fresh in the memory bank, but it's always challenging when a lot of the players played Sunday, so you don't get so much training time. But I think our principles of play are very clear to the lads that have been with us for a while, and the boys have picked up that togetherness and spirit very quickly, and we just have to focus our minds on a different sort of challenge. And but I don't expect that to be a problem in terms of the mentality of the players that we have.
We've talked to you a lot, Gareth, about the problem of racism at home in the UK, but the Hungarian FA has been sanctioned by UEFA for racist and homophobic abuse that was directed at opponents during the Euros. If this had been a UEFA game rather than a FIFA game, it'd be behind closed doors now, but instead we've got a full crowd. Have you prepared the players for what they might face in the Puskás Arena?
Well, we always prepare the team for everything, really, and we've done that this week. But also we know that we've had our own issues at home, and so we're not really focusing on other countries. We're focusing on ourselves and making sure we get our own things correct.
I mean, look, the team came very close to walking off the pitch in Bulgaria when they faced that persistent racism from the stands. Do you think you and the players would take the decision to do that this time if they face the same abuse here?
Well, I don't think we should speak hypothetically. I think we know the experience we had before, but we're going into Hungary preparing for a game against a crowd that will get behind their team. And we're looking forward to the challenge of the match, and everything else is speculation, really.
Can I ask Harry a similar one? And look, you're part of the leadership group, Harry, and I know how much you guys talk about matters on the pitch and off the pitch. Have you talked about how you might react if you face racist abuse from the stands tomorrow night?
Well, like Gareth said, I think we speak about different scenarios going into every game. So not just Hungary away. Every away game that we play, we speak about different scenarios that can happen. And I think to speak about something in the future and something that you're predicting might happen is a bit unfair, and us as players now, we're fully focused on going to Hungary, playing in a full crowd, a great atmosphere. I'm sure a team which have obviously shown that they're more than capable at the Euros, so we're expecting a tough test, and we're more focused on the game and the performance and trying to get the 3 points to qualify for Qatar.
That's fair enough. Let me ask you one final one on the football then, Harry, if that's okay. From a player's perspective, that's similar to Gareth a moment ago. You gave so much in the summer, came so close, and that was only 7 weeks ago. How do you lift yourself to go again to try and qualify for a major tournament? The fact that you got that close and did so well in the summer, does that give you the extra motivation, even though we're at the qualifying stage in this one?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it ended in disappointment, but the journey and the memories that we made, the smiles that we put on people's faces was there for everyone to see. So it was a great journey. Obviously, disappointment in the end to become so close to be European champions, a penalty shootout away. So we know we're nearly there. We've got lots of things to improve on. And yeah, I think it's a big test, more mentally than physically. So it's one that us players have got to look after. We spoke about it, and we need to be ready, because we know it's going to be a tough test away to Hungary, and if we're not ready mentally, we won't perform to our best and we won't get the result that we need. So of course the mentality of the squad will be tested, and we need to overcome that and show what we're about.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, next we'll go to Alex Howler, BBC Sport.
So a question for Gareth, please. How important is it to get a good result in this game? How much does momentum play a part when the games are so close together?
Well, in terms of qualification, it's a really important opportunity for us, because if you can take points off your nearest challengers in their own home, then it puts us in a really strong position, and we would be in control of the group, basically. Of course, that can then lead into the games later in the week, but I think we're just looking at this first game. We're prepared well for it. We know the sort of test we're going to face. We're a team that have had progress because we've shown humility in the way we're prepared to work, the way we're prepared to defend as a team. We know we've got players that can create chances and play good football, but everything starts from that work ethic. And if you lose that as a team and you don't have that right, then you're vulnerable. So that's the start point for us. We've got to make sure we're back to where we were, and not thinking that just because we got to a final, everything is just going to roll on and we can just walk out and beat teams.
And a lot's been made about the atmosphere you're going to face in Hungary. How much does that come into your preparation? How often have you spoken to the players about that?
Well, we of course have talked to the players about a different atmosphere, because we were at home all the way through through the summer, apart from the one game in Rome. But that is the test as a top player. You've got to go into these stadiums with opposition fans and show the resilience and the fortitude to be able to play and control the game. And all of our players are playing in big matches, most weeks where they face that sort of challenge, and a lot of them are playing in European football. We've got experienced players in this side now, so it's nothing that they haven't faced in the past.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, next we'll take one from our hosts tomorrow evening. So we'll go to Benti Babchak from the Mzeti Sport in Hungary.
Good afternoon, Mr. Southgate. My question would go to you. What kind of football do you expect from the Hungarian side? I mean, do you expect a team that will try to operate with a relatively deep defensive low block and then try to play with counterattacks? Or do you expect a team that will try to operate with ball position and try to control the game? And what is your game plan for tomorrow? Thank you very much.
Well, we know that Hungary can do both of the things you talked about if they're given the opportunity. So if we allow them to play, they can play. If we dominate the possession, then they're very resilient and they defend deep, and they're very difficult to create chances against. We saw that France had that problem, and it took Portugal over 80 minutes to score in the summer. So very well organised team, and we know that we've got to be at our very best.
Thanks, Benson. Next we'll go to James Ollie of ESPN.
Hi to you both. Good luck tomorrow. Just firstly, Gareth, team news, is everybody available?
We've got a small knock with Jaden this morning, so we're going to assess him. Everybody else, I think, is fine for the game.
And just secondly, just sort of looking at the bigger picture, are there any sort of traits you feel the team needs to develop over the next 14 months? You know, when you look at what happened at the Euros and the run to the final, is there anything you feel, obviously you came so close to winning it, but is there anything you feel that's missing or that you need to develop as a side that will give you a better chance at the World Cup?
Well, there are lots of things, but the types of challenges you face are totally different. You know, going away from home for a qualifier is a different experience to playing in a tournament, and we've got to embrace those challenges first. The skill set required as a team is very different. So yes, there are things from all of the games that we played in the summer that we learned from as a group, but they don't necessarily apply for the individual fixtures that are coming up. And that's where you've got to be adaptable and make sure that we're prepared for the specific challenges that we're going to face in these games. And I think that's what we've focused on this week. Of course, the things that we're doing well and we have done well, we've got to maintain. And there's always room for improvement individually with the players and collectively as a team. But as I say, the challenge tomorrow is very different from most of the games we played in the summer.
Thanks, James. Next, we'll go to Matt Reed from World Soccer Magazine, who I understand has a question for Harry. Sorry, Matt, you're on mute.
Go again. I think hopefully I'm clear now. Hello. Hi, Harry. Obviously, over the summer, we've lost in the finals on penalties. It's the finest of margins, but still, some people are coming out. I think the media have been really supportive of England, and I think it's a really nice together feeling in the way that we're working in this country now. But still, some people from all sorts of positions are using it as a stick to beat England with, saying that we didn't have the final finish, we didn't have the ability to see it through. Such fine margins. How do you feel about that kind of response? And this being used as a stick to beat you with, and how do you feel about how fine the margin is? Because a penalty kick is next to nothing.
Well, of course, yeah. I think you've just said a penalty shootout defeat in the final of the European Championships is the finest of margins you can get. So yeah, we use it as more motivation. We don't really read the negative energy. We stay positive. It's a test for us as a group now to make sure that we bounce back from that disappointment, and starting with tomorrow with a good performance and a good result. And yeah, I think the only thing you can do is look forward to what you've got and what you can improve on, and where you can go in the future. And we know how close we are. But we've still got a lot of work to do and a lot of improvement to be made, and we'll do that.
Thanks, Matt. Staying with Harry, we have another question for him from Harry Hawthorne of Stats Perform.
Yeah, hi Harry. Obviously you're delighted to be on England duty, I'm sure, but it must be very exciting knowing that you're going to be getting a chance to play with Cristiano Ronaldo soon. Just how exciting is that for you as a player at Man United, and what sort of impact do you think he can make?
Yeah, of course, it's amazing. Obviously, I'm away with England at the moment, so my focus is on the game tomorrow. But for him to sign back for the club, and for me, the greatest player to play the game. So, no, it's amazing to have him at the club, and I'm sure he's going to have a huge impact on and off the field. And many players can look and learn and improve. And then obviously he's going to improve our team as well with his goal scoring record. So no, it's amazing to have him at the club, and I'm looking forward to meeting him in a few days.
Thanks, Harry. And we'll finish with the last question from Dom Smith of EnglandFootball.org.
Hi, Gareth. Can I just ask you about this international break in particular? You've got two tough games and obviously the game against Andorra, but you're not playing an Italy or a Germany or a France in a major tournament match. So how do you keep interest as high as possible in the England team among fans when we're not in a tournament?
Well, I think we had over 25 million people watching the semi-final, and I don't know what the numbers were for the final. You know, the country have been engaged with the team like we've never seen for decades, really. Of course, there's always this challenge through the autumn period where fans are back into club football, and there is a different focus, a dual focus. We can only perform and play well. The key is that the players are engaged in it and enjoying being back together, proud to represent the country, and ready to do the job. And then it's up to us to play well and win matches to engage the supporters. I don't think there's a lot more we can do than that, really.
Okay, everybody, we'll conclude it there. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.